Hi, I'm Hannah. I work for Trevor Sorbie head office. I am not a professional hairdresser, but I'm very passionate about products and about electricals. Today I'm going to show you how easy it is to use our high flow Airstyler. I'm going to create 3 different looks. So we have the smooth look I've created here, the volume through the root, and also the loose wave. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to create some volume and movement through the hair using the big barrel of the high flow Airstyler. The first thing you have to always remember to do is to use product. It's the equivalent of trying to build a humongous building on swampland. If you don't have the foundations in place, the style won't stay in place. So the first thing that I'm going to use is the Invisible Hold Mousse. This is really great because it's going to dry into the hair completely soft, but it's going to give it amazing hold that will last all day. So with the Invisible Hold Mousse, I've gone for about this much for this section of hair. It seems like a lot, but it's going to dry completely invisible into the hair. So you want to make sure that you get it from root to tip evenly distributed. And that's going to provide amazing hold. Using a comb, just make sure it's gone the whole way through because you don't want to have any sticky patches anywhere. The other product that I'm going to use is blow dry mist. This is going to protect the hair up to 230 degrees. It's really important because anytime you're putting heat on your hair, you are in effect damaging it. So anything you can do to limit that amount of damage is good. So spray that liberally through the hair. And again, just comb through to make sure it's spread through. So now I'm going to section the hair at the back. I wouldn't recommend using more than this hair if you want to create some really long-lasting volume. It's always worth putting the glove on because the Airstyler does get hot and it's better to be safe than sorry. So I've got my section of hair. I'm combing it through. The main thing to remember whenever you're applying heat to the hair is the purpose of heat is to make the hair more malleable so you can change the structure. It's the same with chocolate or glass or plastic. If I was to then pull the hair straight when it's still hot, it will set straight. So the hair isn't set in that new shape you've created until it's cooled down, which is why it's really important to either hold the Airstyler in on the cool setting or to hold it in place of a pin to cool down so that the actual shape is set. Otherwise it's just going to fall out and not look as good. Okay. So I've got my Airstyler on and I'm going to gently lift it vertically away from the head at 90 degrees and then just start to wrap it down. There's lots of different speed settings, so if I go up one, this is now the hottest setting, so if I blast this through to heat up the ceramic barrel, I can then pop it onto a slightly cooler one if it starts to feel a bit hot. So you can start to see that I've got some shape occurring here. I'm now going to go the other way. And what that's going to do is just create an even stronger shape because I'm still curling the hair, but it's going to smooth it on both sides and give me the best result possible. And now just brush it through a couple of times. Okay, so the hair is looking pretty dry now. As with anything, I'm going to show you in a second a way to use the Airstyler really quickly if you're just doing an everyday look, something that you just want to be smooth for the office. This would be more if you're going for a special occasion and you want to put some time aside. I think the important thing to remember is if you want one of those big blow dries that will last all day, you have to invest time. Even in the salon, they will pin your curls up, leave them for maybe an hour, brush through each section of hair, and there really isn't a shortcut way of doing that. You still need to go through that process, but this is just easy obviously for you to do at home and using a brush and a hairdryer at the same time. Okay, now that I've created that shape, I'm going to roll down again. I'm going to pop it onto the cool setting. This is going to set the hair and hopefully cool down the ceramic, which means that the style is going to last for longer. Okay, and turn it off. I'm going to hold it in there for probably about 10 seconds just to let it cool down a little bit and start to set. Now, you could just take it out at this point and you'd have a nice shape, but what I'm going to do is just what you'd probably see them doing in the hairdressers, which is you can grab a roller, again sweep the hair up at a 90-degree angle, tucks the ends in really, really well, and then just roll that down tightly to the head. And you can leave it like that, but what I like to do is just pop a pin in at the bottom, and that will really securely hold it in place. Now that I've done that first roller and it's in and the hair is setting, I'm just going to do the same thing quickly for the remaining 2 bits of hair I have at the front. Just pull my head forward so you can really see what I'm doing here. So pull the brush up, tuck the ends in and roll down. So I'm now going to hold that in place just to let it set finally. So again, I want to grab my roller, I'm going to pull it away from the head, tuck the ends in, really tightly wrap it down, tuck it just in place behind the other one that we have in place already, pin, and that's secured. Because my hair is a bit finer and a bit wispier, I'm not going to put this on as high a setting for this front section because I don't think it needs it, and I've got less hair actually wrapped around the barrel. So I'm going on to the cool setting. Because I've done that, I can place it a little bit closer to my scalp, just get that last bit of volume at the bottom. Turn it off, and I hold it in place. And then unwrap it, grab my roller, smooth it through, tuck under the ends, and as tightly as possible, wrap it in and tuck it just in front of the other roller that we've got in place. At this point, the other thing I will do is just spray some hairspray in. We've got natural hold or firm hold. It depends what kind of finish you want, how big you want the curls to be. I like my hair to just have natural movement, so I'm going to use the natural hold hairspray. So just liberally spray that over, and it's just going to help that style last a little bit longer. While these are setting, I'm going to show you how you could use the Airstyler quicker for a more everyday look. So it's just going to make the hair sleek, give it a little bit of shape underneath the chin, and just give it a really lovely finish for a daytime look. With this big section, I'm just going to put it in 2, pop it onto my setting, and it's actually a very similar technique to what we were doing on the top with the head. Having the glove on is really helpful because you can use it to guide the brush through the hair, and you're not going to burn yourself, so you can really control it, really make sure all of the hair is tucked in and get the best finish possible. You can see already, as I'm pulling this through on the lowest setting, I'm starting to get that really nice shape and shine. The key to doing it this way is to make sure that you're actually starting at the top of the hair, start to rotate the barrel, and then slowly, with the hand guiding it, pull it down. My hair has a natural wave to it, so doing this is just going to counteract that and keep my hair looking nice and smooth, but more of a natural finish than if I do straighteners. You can see how straight and shiny that's already made my hair. Because my hair has been bleached quite heavily, it tends to have a little bit of frizz on the ends, or it can lack a bit of shine. So I'm just going to use a little bit of our frizz-free shine oil, probably only 2 drops, and then just run that through the ends. And that's created a really simple, really sleek daytime look. I've now put on the attachment that I would use to create very loose movement or beachy hair. This isn't going to create the same look you would get if you were to use our magnetic multi-wand, which is a full ceramic barrel. That heats up to about 200 degrees and that will set a curl that will be in place for days. This will create loose movement, so if I just want to have rather than having this nice sleek look, if I just wanted to add a little bit of movement or that kind of slightly bohemian style, this will do that really easily. Again, we need to start with product, so I've just gone with a little bit of mousse, which I'm going to run through. And then a couple of spritz of the blow dry mist just to protect the hair. Now that the section of hair is ready, I'm going to put on my glove. You definitely want to wear it for this one because you're going to have to hold the end of the barrel and that will get hot, so best to protect your fingers. So I've got my section. There are many different ways that you can wrap around. You could hold it horizontally, vertically, upside down. The way that I always find easiest and gets me the best results is to hold the Airstyler facing downwards, which means I've got good amount of control with my thumb to change the temperature if I need to. And it's also easier for this hand to then wrap the hair downwards and around. So you would place it up at the root, wrap down, then hold in place at the end. It's easier to do that whilst it's turned off, because if you turn it on, obviously your hair's going to be flying, and if you've got layers like I do, it becomes increasingly difficult. So now it's in place, I'm putting it onto the higher setting. This is going to work in essence like a slightly less hot version of a normal tong, so I do need it to heat up quite considerably. Once you feel that it's really hot, and to be honest, it's probably when you start to feel it through the glove slightly, you know it's at the right temperature, then pop it onto the cold setting. Then turn it off. Now with anything, the key is don't just remove the tong and let the hair drop, because the hair still needs to cool down. So remove the tong, but I'm still holding onto that curl. And I'm going to hold on to it until with this hand I can feel that it's completely cooled down. So it's still got a little bit of warmth in there at the moment. Okay, and now I let it drop. And I've created a really nice curl. This is quite springy at the moment. It will start to drop to create that loose movement. Never immediately brush through your curl, otherwise it's still a little bit warm, it's going to disappear. Give it 10 minutes before you actually attempt to brush it through. So I've allowed this to cool completely now. So using my comb, I'm just going to gently brush it through, and it's going to create that really pretty, soft, beachy effect that I was looking for. I've just combed through these, and what it's left me with is a really soft, natural wave. That's using the drop tong. You also have the thicker tong and the beachy wave in there as well, so you can create lots of different curls, but they would all be done in that same technique. So already we can see that using Airstyler and the different attachments, I've been able to create a sleek look, a volume look, which I'm going to let out in a second, and those really pretty waves. So it's very versatile, great to take on holiday, because especially when there's humidity and you need to be smoothing, it's going to do all of those jobs that you need it to do, and it's all in one electrical. Now I'm ready to take out my rollers. I've left them in probably about 15 minutes now. If you could leave them in for an hour or two before a night out, great, you're going to have an even better result. But this should be enough just to set them and to give me a really good shape. So I'm just going to remove my pin at the back. I'm going to very gently unroll the roller. Never just pull it out, otherwise you're just going to remove some of that shape and also tug at your hair, which you don't want. You can see the shape I've created there. It's a real curl, so I'm going to let that out and do the same with the other two rollers. So gently unrolling. You can always use it to then smooth through the hair again. And then the front roller. You can see already how big that volume is even before I've set the hair and now put it into place. So I'm going to create more of a central parting. And you can see how much volume I've created. It's a real salon style blow dry that was actually very easy to use at home. The hardest thing is probably getting to grips with wrapping the hair down and then putting the roller in the correct place. We have videos that you can find on our YouTube channel which will show you how to set rollers in correctly. Sometimes though, if you just need that bit of lift, you can just do those three in the middle, which is what I often do for a night out, so I can have smoothed my hair or created a loose wave, and just putting those through the top is going to give you that amazing volume and that really beautiful shape around the face. If you'd like any more information on how to create this look or lots of others with some of our professional hairdressers from the salons, please visit www.trevorsorbie.com. Alternatively, you can contact myself and the rest of the team here directly at customercare@trevorsorbie.com.